2, 3, 4. Well, I'm back at it again, or at least I'm trying to. I have finally got to the point where I do have enough use of arms, legs, and brain that we can try this again and see how it goes. Frankly, creating and editing this stuff with only one good hand is a little bit difficult, but we will give it a shot. The update at this point, let's see, it's been 45 days, 46 days, something like that since the accident. It has been quite the trip. That's the major part of the trip being dealing with the insurance company. The insurance company dropped the ball several times on this. Finally, let's see, the accident was February the 2nd. Finally, yesterday, the 21st of March, they showed up with getting the bike towed from where it's been stored since the 2nd and towed to the dealership where they are going to look at it, give me an estimate on repairs on the thing. Part of the problem was that when this got started, the claim went to medical because I was in the trauma unit. Then the medical team just stopped. After I was released from the hospital, they just set the file aside. They never sent it over to claims. And so nobody knew that my bike was sitting out in the middle of somebody's pasture. Well, not really sitting in somebody's pasture, but close enough. The bike was towed to a local auto shop where it sat outside in the rain and the snow and the sleet and the hail for 40 some odd days. And we actually got to the point where we had to threaten the insurance corporate headquarters with going to the state insurance department and getting hold of lawyers and doing all sorts of other stuff before they finally broke loose and said, yeah, okay, we'll take care of this, we'll call the right people and make all the right arrangements. And so at some point in the last 24 hours or so, the bike was finally towed to the dealership for repairs. I don't know how long it's going to take to get the bike repaired. There's a dearth of parts and etc. And I know that bike's dealership's maintenance and service is backed up God knows how long. But that's okay, because let's see, I have been in brace and splint and wraps and everything else from knuckles to shoulder since this all started, and I've got at least 2 more weeks of wraps and braces and splints before that all comes off. It will be another month probably before the hand is usable, because there are little ligaments popped out from between knuckles. But as far as repairing the bike goes, it's mostly cosmetic damage. The body work, gas tank, all that stuff is either scuffed, cracked, dented, or missing. So all of that has to be replaced. Nothing functional seems to be wrong with the bike other than the handlebars. The right-hand side of the handlebar was broken off at the triple tree, so that will have to be replaced. The insurance company says it's going to cost about $2,500. I'm thinking it's going to probably be somewhere around $4,000 all told when it's parts and labor. But we will see. I should have a estimate sometime soon, probably within the next day or two. Let's see, as far as my physical shape, yeah. Imagine having your right hand just encased in stuff and it's stuck in one position, your hand in one position, your fingers, all of them, stuck in one position for 6 weeks. I finally got to the point where I can bathe myself and shave myself and mostly dress myself, and the right arm is just basically a spaghetti noodle. The left arm's okay, but the right arm is just as skinny and thin, and dangling and flabby as you can imagine. It's going to be fun learning how to use this arm all over again. What else is there? Let's see. What do we have going on? Yeah, it's getting to be springtime here. In the morning now, if you go out around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, there's all sorts of birds yelling and screaming and throwing things at one another. The other day, they were being stalked by our resident neighborhood owl. I don't know if I've told you, our little subdivision down here has its own resident owl. It's a great big old guy. And he was parked in one of our pine trees the other day, glowering at anybody and everybody. He's a great big old thing. But we've been putting out seed and such for the birds, so I guess maybe we're attracting attention. But the good thing is that we've got Cooper's hawks, we've got the big old owl, but fortunately they leave our cats alone. They can go outside and wander around and play in the mud, which is all sorts of fun. The cats, at this point, we have, let's see, our old guy is, as you know, diabetic, so he gets to get shots twice a day. And we have just learned that our little old lady, my favorite little girl, Groucho, has kidney disease. It's not chronic kidney disease yet, but it may eventually get that far. So she has to go on a special diet. It's a prescription diet. You can order the food off, any of the places on the internet, but they have to get a permission slip from the veterinarian to sell this stuff to you. Veterinarian's got to fill out a form and email it to them so that they can sell us this stuff. A little more expensive than regular food, but she's worth it. The funny thing is, so now we have 2 cats who are on a diabetic diet and 2 other cats who are on a complete opposite diet for kidney disease. One of them needs high protein and low everything else, and the kidney disease kitty has to have a low protein, high everything else diet, including cranberries and cranberry juice in the food, which I think is kind of weird. The thing of it is, the diabetic cats hate their diabetic food and love the kidney food, and the kidney cats hate their kidney food and love the high protein stuff. So now we have to feed one set of cats in one place in the house and the other set of cats in the other side of the house, and then as soon as they are finished eating, we have to police up everything and hide it from the others, because they will, purloin whatever it is they want if they get half a chance. It's just funny as all get out. Well, the wife and I have been talking about this situation in Ukraine. It's kind of odd to face facts. When the business started on the International Legion, volunteer fighters from all over the world, people with combat experience, taking a trip to Ukraine to help them out. When that first came up, I gave it serious consideration. I got all of my documents together and called the embassy and talked to the person who talks to the person who talks to the person, and I talked to the person, and it's during the conversation I realized, actually, I'm 73 years old. I could no more meet basic infantry standards than I could throw this house over the moon. Strapping on a 74-pound pack and walking 3 and 4 miles a day, all day, into the night, it's just not possible for me to do. And then I realized, my only combat experience was 50 cotton picking years ago. Everything has changed since then. So I wouldn't be just useless over there. I would be an actual risk to anybody that I had to work with. And it's just kind of hard. You want to do something good, you want to make a contribution, but physically limited. So I have discussed the situation, and what's more likely is that at some point I'll go over there, but in a non-combat status, working with some aid group. The wife has already talked with one of the aid groups. They have all of her paperwork. She's got everything filled out. If the need arises after June 1st, she will be heading over probably to Poland or Moldova to, work with the medical aid people, probably Doctors Without Frontiers, one of those groups, Doctors Without Borders, Médecins Sans Frontières, whatever the heck that is. But she's made arrangements, and I'm just going to have to do whatever little I can over here, provide some kind of monetary support. It feels wholly inadequate to me, but I've got to face the fact that I'm just an old fart, and I can't do what I used to could do 30, 40 years ago. It's amazing. But yeah, it's been 30 years since I took the uniform off last time, and I am in no shape, no condition. Getting me up for combat again would take way too much time, too much training, and so I'm just going to have to deal with my own mortality yet again. Getting old is actually kind of fun. Being old sucks. We'll see how that goes. But for now, that's all the news that's fit to print. I am in reasonably good shape for having been tossed off a bike at 25 to 30 miles an hour into a 6-foot ditch. I don't know if I ever told you the whole story on that. I was on the back roads in Illinois, just having a wonderful little time, when suddenly, lo and behold, in front of me, there is a dead end. It is a T intersection that has no marking. There's no stop sign. There's nothing that says dead end. There's no guardrail on the other side of the road, but there is a 6-foot ditch. Well, I turned left, which was the wrong choice because the left-hand side was not a 90-degree turn, it was a 110-degree. Still, I had got the bike down slow enough and low enough that I almost made the corner. Seriously, I almost made it, but then the gravel monster jumped up and bit the front end of the tire, and I was gone. So we had a wonderful combination of negligence in that there were no markings, and I think willful mismanagement in that the standard practice around there, from what I've seen since, is that when the county roads get bad enough, the county just sends out a gravel truck and they decorate the whole thing with a layer of gravel. Found that out last week. The daughter and I went and traveled the back roads trying to find exactly where the accident was so we could take some pictures and all of that. And even in a big fat 4-wheel car, there were sections of it that were just a little bit too interesting for my taste, and she had white knuckles from gripping onto stuff because it was all covered with gravel. I did talk to a lawyer about that because, whoever did that should share some responsibility in this. But the lawyer says he knows that there have been several cases, similar cases, because there are all sorts of accidents in that part of the world. People have sued, they win the judgment, and then nothing happens. Whoever is the insurance company that's covering liability for the local government just washes it off. They don't pay and they don't pay. Then you drag them back into the court. The court gives them some sort of measly little fine, which the insurance company pays, but then they continue not to pay on damages, and they just drag it out for years and years until finally people just give up on it and move on. So I'm just having to foot the bill for that. Disregardless, sometime soon I will have the bike back. It will be repaired and it will be like new. And probably end of April, early May, I can get back on and do some riding around. Before I do any adventurous riding around on the back roads, I'm going to have to go back to the parking lots and do riding skill exercises, which I'll record some of that and show you how that all works. But it's basically how to control the bike at low speed, and you have to be able to do that in order to control the bike at higher speeds, like city traffic and highway traffic, and getting yourself around. The lesson learned, though, have a lesson from this, and that is to avoid county roads in the state of Illinois, because they are really, really bad. They're pretty good here in Indiana, pretty good in Kentucky, but Illinois, I'm not going back there anytime soon. So that's all the news that's fit to print for today. As new stuff comes up, I will be sure to be more regular in this now that my limbs are mostly usable, and now that I'm no longer drugged up so much that I can't see straight. Things should get more interesting. I will keep you informed. You be sweet, you be good, and tell the hubby person I said hello. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.